My name is Albert Duncan. I served in the U.S. Army Infantry, went on active duty in January 1965. I went to Fort Benning for Infantry Officers Basic Course in January of '65, and after graduating for that, I was assigned to Fort Ord, California, in Monterey. It was kind of unusual. When I got to Fort Ord had been closed for roughly several months. Apparently in 1964 there were a number of deaths of soldiers there due to spinal meningitis, and they had closed the whole fort down. So when I got there, I was one of the first junior officers to be out there for training recruits and people who were drafted at 6th Army. So my duty when I got out there was to be a training officer. When I got out to Fort Ord, we had no troops there, so we just did training ourselves and that sort of thing. And one of my my first assignment was as a platoon leader when we first got some troops. And then I transferred over to a committee group where I was an instructor in explosives and demolitions, anti-tank warfare, that sort of thing. I also had an extra duty, which was really interesting to me. I was a defense counsel in a special court-martial. I defended two men. One was for a negligent homicide case. He was a sergeant and had been promoted recently, and he was at a promotion party, had too much to drink, had his baby with him, got into a wreck on post, killed the baby, and he could have gone to a general court-martial, but he took a special court-martial, and even though I'm no lawyer, I was assigned to defend him, which I did, and did it successfully. You know, times are so different than they were back before you all were born. I would say that it is a wonderful experience to be in the military. You learn how to work with others, you learn discipline, you learn obviously some kind of specialty when you're in the service. You also learn how to deal with authority appropriately, and I think there's so many life skills that you learn that you can transfer whether you stay in the service or not, but transfer it to other professions. So I think that's really important. Well, I have to say this. One of the reasons I joined and chose to be a U.S. Army officer is because I was born in Germany during World War II. And both my parents were German, and I was adopted by an American, and so I felt like I needed to give something back to this country. And so I think that's probably the thing that I want my family to know about, and they do know about it. I've taken both my boys to Normandy to have them understand the importance of World War II particularly, and service in the United States Armed Forces.